Good evening. On behalf of our board and staff, it's certainly my pleasure to welcome you here to celebrate Ontario, OMDC's annual salute to Ontario films and filmmakers at the Toronto International Film Festival. Before I go any further, I do want to take a moment to say how pleased we are to welcome our new Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, the Honourable Michael Coteau. And you'll hear from him in just a minute. Thrilled to have so many of our international partners and guests from European Film Promotion, Producers Lab Toronto, from the International Financing Forum, of course our friends at the festival, and so many filmmakers and members of all of those other creative industries in Ontario. I want to take the opportunity also to thank our presenting sponsors, PwC and Deluxe, for your generous support of Celebrate Ontario. As we've said so very often, we could not do this without you, and we're incredibly grateful for your support. And so pleased to see that so many of the senior executives from PwC and Deluxe are here with us tonight and with their industry guests. As you've all heard me say again and again, film and television is big business in Ontario. More than $1 billion contributed to the Ontario economy again last year. That's the third year in a row. I think keep up the good work is the best advice I can give you. We've got 3 OMDC-funded films screening in the festival this year. We're thrilled to see Map to the Stars, October Gale, and Wet Bum, and their production teams are here with us tonight. And then a number of features that are in theaters or coming to theaters in the weeks ahead. So you'll see their posters around the room, and they're certainly showing on the trailers on the screens. Take the opportunity, if you can, please, to support Ontario film. See these films at TIFF, see them in your theater. I also want to take the opportunity to thank and congratulate Piers Handling, Cameron Bailey, and the entire TIFF team. Another fabulous festival lineup, another fabulous slate of industry programming. So tonight really is all about celebrating your success and forging new business opportunities. Obviously, take the opportunity to catch up with your friends in the room, but we hope you'll also introduce yourself to some of our international guests and some of the other sectors that OMDC works with, and see if there isn't maybe a business spark coming out of that. And with that, I'm going to pass the microphone over to another familiar face. You will all recognize OMDC's board chair, Kevin Shea.
Well, thank you, Karen, and thank you, folks, for being patient and listening. We promise you we are only going to be a few minutes. As Karen said, my name is Kevin Shea, and I'm honored to serve as the chairman of OMDC. On behalf of our entire board, we congratulate all the Ontario filmmakers at TIFF this year. Now, before I introduce Mr. Coteau, and I know I mean this on behalf of everyone in this room, we had the pleasure of Minister Michael Chan for the last number of years, and a big shout out to Mr. Chan, who did a lot for our industry. He's now Minister of Trade, but he and his staff, I know, were incredibly supportive of our sector, and we know inherently we've got that same support from Minister Coteau. You know, I was down at the opening film last night, and the electricity on King Street just reminds me of how important TIFF has become to Toronto as a tourism event, as a cultural event, as an economic event. And I just want to give out a huge cheer to the folks who run TIFF, because they do so much for this city, for our industry, and we should be very proud of what this festival has done. So here's to the gang at TIFF. Now, it is my true privilege to introduce our special star tonight, the Honourable Michael Coteau, who is Ontario's new Minister of Tourism, Culture, also the Minister of Sport, and the Pan Am Games. Now, Minister Coteau was first elected to the legislature in 2011. I know he looks like a movie star, And as the MPP for Don Valley East, and had previously served as Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. He was re-elected in 2014 and appointed to his current portfolio. Now, just before I ask the Minister to come up and address the crowd, I do want to say this about how I was so impressed with our new Minister. Literally the morning after, 7:45 in the morning of Michael being appointed to Cabinet, my phone rings. There it is, Michael Coteau. And I must admit, so impressed that a minister on his first day on the job is phoning the various heads of agencies to say how committed he is, how determined he is. And believe me, when you read his portfolio, and I encourage you to do it online, you will see that this is an incredibly hardworking and very inspired minister, which is why, and thank God, by the way, there was this sea of majority change in Ontario, because otherwise we would have been having a different night tonight, I think. But which is why I think Ms. Wynne put him in this portfolio. So without further ado, Minister Michael Coteau.
Thank you, Kevin. And you can thank Christine Innes for that phone call, because she made sure I called all the right people the first week I was on the job. Thank you very much for having me here today. I want to say it's been an extreme honor for me to get into this new position. And on behalf of the Premier of our province, the Honourable Kathleen Wynne, and all of the staff at the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport, I just want to say thank you so much for what you're doing here. You're an incredible sector, and you've really embraced me with open arms. I've worked with people in the last, I guess, just under 2 months from the music sector, the creative cluster sector, folks from the sports sector, and of course film. It's been incredible, and I can't forget tourism, and it's been an incredible experience. And I just want to say thank you for doing what you do, because you really, help define who we are as Ontarians and as Canadians. And I just want to say, on behalf of our Premier, thank you for everything you do. It's an honor to be in the room with so many talented people as we celebrate the filmmakers and everyone that is involved in TIFF. It is a real honor for me to be here. The TIFF Festival really defines who we are and sets us, I think, on the international stage when it comes to movie creation here in Ontario. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to the OMDC and to Kevin and the staff who really put in place those financial incentives on behalf of our government to make sure that we have a robust and a very competitive film sector here in the province of Ontario. We know that the film sector, let's give them a big round of applause. We know that the sector here in Ontario contributes over $2.4 billion, according to the numbers I have, and employs over 46,000 people in Ontario. And that's huge. That's great for our economy, and it's great for our creative economy as we try to reposition Ontario and Canada to take on a more global position when we compete against other jurisdictions. So thank you for doing what you do. Ontario is an incredible place. We have the perfect conditions to continue to grow this sector. If you think about our infrastructure, you think about our creative talent, you think about our financial incentives and our diverse locations, there's no reason why we can't continue to build the film sector here in the province of Ontario so we can continue to compete against all jurisdictions internationally. And you have my commitment, and you have the Premier's commitment that we'll continue to work and invest in this sector to ensure that you have the tools necessary to continue to be successful. And I also wanted to thank Michael Chan, and I know Kevin did that. I want to thank Michael Chan for his work that he did. And he did an extraordinary job for 4.5 years, and everywhere I go, it doesn't matter which part of this portfolio I'm in, if it's Pan Am or sports or anywhere I go, people recognize his hard work, and I want to say thank you to him because we're in this place today in this great shape because of your contribution and because of the commitment by the former Minister, Minister Sands. So on behalf of our government, on behalf of Premier Kathleen Wynne, I wish everyone a great TIFF, and to our international visitors, welcome to Ontario. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you all for being so patient. This will conclude our official remarks tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you have a fabulous TIFF. And on behalf of the board, as I like to say at the end of every event like this, is I think we at the OMDC are blessed to have one of the best groups of staff in the entire Ontario government. So here's to the OMDC team. Thank you all very much. Good night.